The animaniacs start their usual day, around the Warner movie lot, causing chaos and going wacky around everything and everyone as usual. That is until the Warner sister, the Warner sister Dot, the Warner sister Dot, the Warner's sister Dot, she ends up getting distracted when she bumped into a familiar person in front of her. She looks up for a moment, looking at the familiar star no man by dazed surprise, like she laid eyes on the first person she's falling for before she almost fainting, while Yakko and Wacko were too busy running around the lot.
Wander turns around to see what he bumped into, and when he sees Dot, he has to do a double take. Whoa! Are you okay, little one?
You okay, little one? Dot. Dot Warner. Dot Warner.
Oh, yes. I'm
Dazing in flutter surprise, she gasped slightly, her heart racing crazy as she tried to speak.
Wandered eyebrows creased in concern as he reached out and grabbed Dot's shoulders, gently steadying her. Are you sure? You look a little... Wander trailed off as he took note of the dazed expression on her face. Blushy?
Dot.
You're charming. You're charming.
Wander's concern melted into a small gentle into a soft gentle smile. He found her reaction both sweet and endearing. Charming, you say? Well, thank you. But you still seem a bit... He gestured to her blushing face. Flustered. But you still seem a bit flustered. Dot.
I'm just admiring what Cupid shot at.
Wacko noticed what's going on with Dot before pulling Yakko to watch.
Well, hello, nurse.
Look, our sister has love at first sight. Look, our sister has love at first sight. Yakko.
Looks like Cupid has shot an arrow.
Wander's confusion deepened as he glanced toward Wacko and Yakko, who seemed to be watching them with knowing grins. Love at first sight, huh? That's it. Wander turned back to look at Dot and noticed her flustered expression again, now joined by an almost dreamy smile. Oh, that's cute.
Dot giggles. She giggles awkwardly. Wander chuckled. He chuckled softly, his concern fading and replaced by a mix of amusement and affection. He couldn't help but find her giggling adorable. You're pretty cute when you're flustered, you know that? You know that? Dot.
Thank you, stranger fella. What's your name? Are you new around the Warner movie lot?
Wander smiled warmly, feeling a strange sense of comfort around her. He removed his grip from her shoulders and gave her a small nod. Pleasure's all mine, darling. My name's Wander, and yeah, I just arrived here.
Dot.
Wow, I love your name. It really suits you.
Yakko. Well, welcome to Hollywood, buddy. Welcome to Hollywood, buddy. Buddy. It's not every day us Warner siblings have to witness new tunes around here, especially from our wacky shenanigans. Dot sighs slightly from being cut off as she looks away for a moment, her heart pounding crazy as she was deep in thought. She begins to only thinking about Wander, and now stuck in her head now.
Wander chuckled softly at Yakko's greeting, grateful for the warm welcome. But his attention shifted towards Dot, who seemed to lose focus for a moment, her gaze wandering, her face still flushed. He couldn't help but notice how intently she was now staring at him, almost like she couldn't look away. A small smirk formed on his face as he took note of her dreamy expression.
Dot almost starts fainting. Wacko, whoa baby. Yakko watches by surprise.
Wander quickly noticed Dot almost losing her balance, and he quickly reached out to steady her once again. He couldn't help but be amused by the Warner's reactions, but his main focus was on the adorable and flustered Dot. Careful there, darling. Don't want to fall on me now, do you?
Yakko, good one, buddy. Good one. That's a good one, buddy. That's enough comedy for my sister to handle romance interest. Dot begins to feel dizzy and fuzzy. Her mind was only focused on Wander, and gazing through, her heart skipped a beat. Wacko. I think our sister is out of it. Out of it. She's clearly lost in thought.
Wander chuckled at Yakko's comment, appreciating the Warner's humor. He looked back at Dot, his expression softening as he noticed her increasingly flustered demeanor. He couldn't help but find her reactions endearing. He gently placed a steadying hand on her shoulder, gently rubbing it in a comforting gesture. Looks like your sister's got her head in the clouds, eh? He said with a charming grin.
Wacko. Good one. She's head over heels for you, that's for sure. Dot.
Wander chuckled at Wacko's pun, amused by their playful banter, but he couldn't help but notice Dot's reaction. Her already flushed cheeks seemed to get even redder, and her expression turned even more dreamy. It was clear that she was smitten with him. Looks like you're right, he said, his smile growing wider. She's definitely smitten. And it's quite adorable, I must say.
Dot.
Huh? What?
Wander chuckled softly and gently pat her head, his touch gentle and comforting. Sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. He said with a warm smile. Didn't mean to startle you. You seem to be lost in thought. Everything okay, darling? Everything okay? Everything all right, darling? You all right? Dot
Dot. Yes. Interesting guy.
Yakko, you should probably introduce yourself to her before she gets all mushy again. Dot.
Yakko, don't embarrass me.
Wander chuckled at Yakko's playful remark and nodded. Right you are, he said, turning his attention back to Dot. My apologies, little one. My apologies, little one. I didn't catch your name. Would you mind sharing it with me? I like to know who I'm talking to, you know. Dot.
I'm Dot. The Warner sister. I'm the Warner sister. I'm Dot. Dot Warner, the Warner sister. But my full name is Princess Angelina Concesas Lofescas Francescas Banana Fana Povesca the third. You can just call me Dot for short. But call me Dottie and you're dead.
Wander's eyes widened in surprise at the sudden formality and the long name. He couldn't help but find it amusing and endearing simultaneously. Wow, that's quite the mouthful, darling. But I'll keep that in mind. It's a pleasure to meet you, Dot. And I promise I won't call you Dottie or any derivatives that could lead to my demise.
Dot.
So, what about you, space creature charming?
Wander chuckled at her nickname for him, finding it quite endearing. He smiled warmly as he responded, Oh, me? Well, it's just Wander, no need for any formalities. I'm an interstellar traveler, a space nomad, if you will. I roam the galaxy, exploring new places, meeting new friends, and spreading a bit of joy along the way.
Dot giggles in surprise.
Wow. Well then, aren't you a sight for sore eyes?
Wacko. We're Dot's brothers. I'm Wacko, and this is Yakko. He's the oldest. Yakko, we're just a fun trio called the Animaniacs. Who like to cause wacky mayhem around Hollywood and the Warner movie lot. It's our thing at best.
Wander chuckles, thoroughly amused by the Animaniacs' cheeky introduction. Well, it's a real pleasure to meet all three of you. I have to say, I'm a big fan of your wacky antics. It seems like you guys keep things lively around here, and your sister Dot is quite the charmer, ain't she?
Yakko, she quite is, yes. The three of us are famous around these parts. Guilty as charged in the flesh. Dot, I think I am really into you. I could almost say, hello, nurse. But you're a guy, so I would swoon to say, hello, doctor, instead. Wander chuckled at Yakko's admiration of their fame and admission of their fame, and couldn't help but smile at Dot's playful remark. He chuckled warmly and replied with a hint of playfulness. Well, darling, you're quite the charmer yourself, I have to admit. It's not every day I get to be the object of someone swooning. He gave her a mischievous glance. And hello, doctor. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Dot nodded but before jumping on him and kissing all over his face. Wacko. Aw, that's cute. Yakko. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Blows out a kiss to in the air and waves comically while breaking the fourth wall in the process as usual.
Wander's eyes widen in surprise as Dot suddenly jumps onto him and starts playfully kissing his face. He lets out a small laugh, completely flustered by her affectionate outbursts. Whoa there, darling! Slow down a bit. You're gonna give me cavities with all that sweetness. He gently grips her waist to steady her, his heart racing, but his voice still filled with amusement.
Dot chuckled a bit before nuzzling onto him, unaware that her brothers were watching. Yakko smirked in interest, while Wacko tilted his head, silly, a bit surprised.
Wander's expression softened as he felt Dot nuzzling against him, her actions filled with unabashed affection. He couldn't help but reciprocate her affections, gently running his hand through her hair with a warm smile. You're quite the affectionate one, aren't you? He said, his voice filled with fondness. I must admit, I'm not used to this much attention, but it's a welcomed change.
Dot. Thanks. You too, cutie. You too, cutie.
Wander chuckled at her compliment, feeling his cheeks grow warm at being called a cutie by someone as adorable as Dot. Well, I have to say, you've got quite the charm, darlin', he said playfully. You're making it rather hard for a fella like me to keep his composure.
Dot. Big deal. So big deal. It's adorable and interesting to me. Wacko. Dot's in love.
Teased in a sing-songy way before chuckling.
Wander chuckled at Wacko's teasing, unable to deny the truth in his words. He knew that he was falling for Dot's charms, but he played along with their banter. Is that so? He asked, a playful glint in his eyes. Well, I suppose love is in the air then. He looked down at Dot, still nuzzling against him, and felt his heart flutter. His usual easygoing nature was being tested by the sudden whirlwind of emotions he was feeling.
Dot flinched from Wacko's tease in disbelief. Panic, she quickly shrugged, trying to act nonchalantly uninterested.
Well, no way. It's just my way of trying to make him a perfect guy flush. That's all.
Yakko, sorry, Sibs, but we know love when we see it. When we see it. And the way you're acting around him definitely says it all.
Wander chuckled at Dot's attempt to downplay her reactions, clearly seeing through her facade. He couldn't help but find her denial adorable. Oh, so you're just trying to make me blush, huh? He teased, his tone filled with a bit of playful skepticism. I see right through you, and I have to say, you're not very convincing when it comes to denying your feelings. Wander cast a glance at the Warners, appreciating their astute observations.
Dot. Oh, can it, you silly goose. You silly goose.
Wacko, she likes you. Dot.
Wacko, I swear I'm going to knock you down with an anvil if you don't stop.
Wander found himself chuckling at Wacko's playful teasing, but he could sense the underlying truth in his words. He looked down at the flustered Dot and gently squeezed her shoulders, his touch tender. It's all right, darling. There's no need to deny it, he said softly. I can see the affection in your eyes.
Dot.
I'm only denying it because it's embarrassing in front of my brothers.
Wander chuckled softly, finding her honesty endearing. Well, I suppose that's a fair point. I can imagine you don't want them teasing you too much. Wander glanced at the Warners, who were clearly enjoying the unfolding scene between them. He decided to throw a playful barb their way, mostly to tease Dot. You've got a real handful with these brothers of yours, don't you?
Dot. She nodded charmingly.
Wander chuckled at her nod, finding her agreement amusing. I bet they give you a hard time every day, he said with a teasing grin. Can't blame them, though. I mean, you're quite a handful yourself, darling.
Dot.
Oh, I'll show you, sweetie.
Quickly kissed his lips passionately. Wacko and Yakko gasped by stunned surprise. Dot.
Oh, I'll show you, sweetie.
Quickly kissed his lips passionately. Her brothers, Wacko and Yakko, they gasped by stunned surprise.
Wander's eyes widened in surprise when Dot suddenly kissed him so passionately, his heart racing at the intensity of the moment. Whoa, he said, a bit breathless, his face flushed with a mixture of surprise and a hint of excitement. You've certainly got some fire in you, darling.
Dot
Yep.
nodded before continuing the kiss.
Wander couldn't help but give in to the passionate kiss, his arms instinctively wrapping around her waist to pull her closer. He melted into the moment, feeling the electric chemistry between them. It was clear that they both had feelings for each other, despite the surprise of the sudden display of affection.
Wacko and Yakko widened, surprised by this. Dot.
Wow, that's hot. That's hot.
Wander chuckled at Dot's unexpected comment, feeling his cheeks flush with both blushes and embarrassment. I have to admit, that was quite unexpected, he said, still holding her close, his heart racing. Wander noticed the surprised yet observant gazes of Wacko and Yakko, their expressions clearly curious but also amused by the unfolding scene.
Dot.
So, you like?
Wander chuckled, his expression softened with affection. Like, darling, I love it. You've got a little firecracker in you, don't ya? His eyes flickered toward Wacko and Yakko, who were watching them with amused grins on their faces.
Wacko and Yakko. Hello, nurse. Hello, nurse. Dot quickly rolling her eyes while shaking her head, finding this whole thing awkwardly amusing but a little embarrassing. But a little bit of embarrassing. Wander couldn't help but laugh at the Warners' playful commentary, especially their "Hello, nurse" catchphrase. Especially their "Hello, nurse" catchphrase. Hello, nurse catchphrase. Always the comedians, aren't you guys? Always the comedians, aren't you guys? Aren't you guys? Aren't ya? He said, still holding Dot in his arms, holding her in his arms, finding their banter entertaining. Dot shook her head, shaking her head playfully, exasperated at her brother's reaction, but also found the situation slightly embarrassing. Dot.
It's what all three of us do. It's what we do. We're just wacky and
Don't mind that classic gag. Don't mind that
classic gag catchphrase. It never gets old, especially for toon characters like us. It's what all three of us do.
Wander chuckled at Dot's explanation, amused by their wacky antics and the timelessness of their catchphrases. "Oh, I know, darling," he replied, his tone still filled with affection. "That's what makes you guys so entertaining, and honestly, it's kinda endearing. It's like a trademark." He glanced at the Warners, giving them a playful smirk. "And I have to admit, it's quite the catchy phrase."
Yakko, hey, what can we say? What can we say? Hollywood, baby! Hollywood, baby! Dot. Just a bit loony, yes. I'm surprised you can handle us very well. Very that well. I mean nobody has ever been able to handle us animaniacs. Nobody has ever been able to handle us animaniacs here before. Especially not around here before. Here before.
Wander chuckled at their response, amused by their quirky and animated spirits. He nodded at Dot's observation. "Yeah, I can see that," he replied with a friendly grin. "You guys do seem like a handful, but I gotta say I'm enjoying it. It's like being in the middle of a never-ending comedy skit." He paused for a moment, holding Dot closer and looking at her directly. "And as far as handle you guys, darling, I think I'm doing all right so far."
Dot. I can tell. Everyone in the Warner movie lot can't handle the Animaniacs as much as most people do. Not as much as most people do. Not as much as most people even do. Not as much as most people do. Most people do. Not as much. Yakko. Take Dr. Otto von Grachensniff, for example. Take him, for example. Dr. Grachensniff. Take Dr. Scratchensniff, for example. He's our therapist, but only loses it if we get his limits in convenient ways.
Wander raises an eyebrow at the mention of Dr. Scratchensniff, finding the idea of a therapist struggling to handle the Animaniacs' antics to be quite humorous. "Ah, Dr. Scratchensniff, huh? Poor fella trying to be a therapist to you guys must be a real challenge," he said with a smile. "I can only imagine the comedic chaos that goes on during therapy sessions."
Yakko. Ah, yeah, bet it's comedic gold, charm, and like a close father figure, I presume. It's fun, mostly. Mostly. Dot. Oh, don't get me started on those good old memories.
Wander chuckled at their description of Dr. Scratchensniff as a kind of comical and endearing father figure. "Sounds like you guys have quite the bond with him," he said, his voice tinged with amusement. "Those memories must be wild. I'd love to hear some of those stories sometime."
Yakko. You could say that. Dot. So, you want to hang out with us or just me?
Wander smiles, his heart fluttering at the invitation. "Hanging out with y'all sounds like a great time," he replied, his voice filled with affection. "And spending time with you, darling? That's even better."
Dot. Sweet. Wacko. So is it like hanging out with us and with Dot later?
Wander chuckled at Waco's question, amused by his eagerness. "Yeah, I'd be down for hanging out you guys and Dot later," he replied, his tone cheerful. The more the merrier, right?
Yakko, Wacko, and Dot, the three of them nodded before the three of them hugged him and kissed his cheeks while jumping onto him.
Wander couldn't help but laugh as the three animaniacs jumped onto him, covering him in hugs and kisses. Whoa, there! He exclaimed, trying to regain his balance. Y'all are quite the affectionate bunch, ain't ya?
Yakko, you bet, sir. Dot,
Now, let's spend some wacky time together at the Warner movie lot.
Wander chuckled, his heart fluttering at the affectionate trio's enthusiasm. He managed to steady himself, a wide smile on his face. All right, sounds like a plan, he agreed enthusiastically. Lead the way, darling. Let's see what y'all have in store for some wacky movie lot fun.
Yakko, that's the spirit. We'll lead you the way. Let's head to the Warner movie lot and see what kind of wacky shenanigans we can get into this time. Wacko and Dot nodding quickly while telling their own suggestions as the group goes around the Warner Bros. Movie lot.
Wander followed along with the animaniacs, their excitement contagious. He listened to their suggestions, chuckling at the antics they were proposing. Oh boy, he said, shaking his head in mock exasperation. What have I gotten myself into with y'all?
As the group started to go rush around the Warner movie lot, who knows what will happen.